Yeah, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I think my fellow panelists spoke about, to start with, Mr. Bali, mobility trends, and also on the sustainability part of it, he touched upon. Then Dr. Kaushik spoke about innovation and what's the need for innovation. And Jyoti Malhotra spoke about future of personal mobility. And now Guru Prasad little bit dwelled into the server-based architecture, how the cars technologically they are changing. So these are all complex, right? If you want to achieve all this, you can't do it alone, and you require a partnership. That's what briefly I'm going to talk about. As I said, my topic today is partnerships as the mobility enabler for the future. Before I get into this topic, maybe quickly I would like to talk about a book which I read some time back, written by some Silicon Valley stalwarts called Exponential Organizations. Yeah, this book is about companies that grow exponentially without even their need for the growing their assets in a very linear way. Yeah, it roughly covers how company can really accelerate its growth by using technology. Yeah. So I'm sure all of us are interested to grow faster, quicker, cheaper to beat the competition. Yeah. But can we do it alone? Again, you need a partnership. But what was notable in this book, it gives some very classic examples of when a company needs to worry. One, it very much touched upon with a couple of examples. When your innovation is driven within, when your strategic planning is more focused on past success, and also you tend to spend a lot of time on investing too much in the status quo, and also some high degree of linear thinking. I think this is not going to work. So this gives a very good examples. So the rule of the game today, what got us here certainly will not get there. So with that, there are several ways, especially the automotive industry is trying to tackle this huge transformation, what's happening. Today, car is becoming an IoT device. But these technologies are already available. Most of the technologies are coming from adjacent markets. But bringing those technology into a moving vehicle, it's a challenge. It's a huge challenge. I have a couple of slides which I'll give you a context, will be helping you to understand how critical and how difficult it is. Yeah. Okay, next slide, please. Oh, okay. So if you talk about today's sort of economies are dramatically changing, triggered by development in emerging markets, accelerated rise of new technologies, sustainability policies, and also changing consumer preferences, right? We have seen, because we experience all sorts of comforts, maybe 5-8 years back at home. We had laptops, we had desktops, we had music systems, everything. Slowly we started experiencing all those comforts at office. Now the question is, we want those comforts when we move. So why can't we have all those comforts, what we enjoy at home, enjoy at office, why can't we have it in our car? That's the question. When we have to bring these technologies, again, it's a challenge. I think the 4 trends Guru spoke about, certainly it's a case. He talked about PACE, which is connected, autonomous, shared, electric. I think all this has led to sort of a way of a software-defined vehicle. If you have to give an example how complex the cars are today, if you take a Mercedes-Benz C-Class, or even for that matter, XC40, it has about 200 million lines of code. And that's going to grow up to 1 billion lines of code by 2025, 2026. That's the complexity. If I had to give a reference, F-35 fighter jet has about 50 million lines of code. Facebook has about 65 million lines of code. You can understand how complex when you're making cars as a software-defined vehicles. And also, if you look at this graph, boundaries are also blurring. As automotive companies for last 130 years, we had 2 sets of relationships. We had conventional set of OEMs, like Volvo, Daimler, Tata Motors, all this. We had a conventional set of suppliers like Bosch, Conti, Denso, Harman, you name it. But now, with the software content increasing, everybody wants to make a car. And look at this, now we are challenged with four. One is the traditional companies which continue to do. Second is mobility providers. For example, Ola. Ola started in India a few years back as a shared mobility provider. Then slowly migrated to making motorbike, scooters, electric scooters. Now is venturing into making a car which is launching in first quarter of 2024. The other one is new generation companies, startups, for example, Tesla. He never had an experience of making cars before. And the fourth is software companies like Google, Apple. They feel we are very good at software. It's going to be software-defined vehicle. Why can't I also make a car? That's why you see news about Apple getting into a car, Waymo through Alphabet, which is again Google company. They want to make a car. So certainly the technologies are blurring. Will you be able to achieve this alone? Again, absolutely no. You need a partnership. So in my first slide, I mentioned about that today's economies are dramatically changing, right? Triggered by development in sort of an emerging markets and accelerated by rise of new technologies. So what is clear is increasing role of software. Every company in the world is on its way to become a software company. It's sort of an either adopt or perish. But how easy is this? That's the question today is being asked, yeah? If you have software up your sleeve, can you really build a car? So that's where I feel, while software companies are very good at software, they may not have the experience of speccing in terms of proving the vehicles, vehicle dynamics. So I think they need to partner with a conventional company. Well, conventional companies are very good at designing a car over a past experience of 100 years. They may not be good at software. If both can come together, look at the advantages what the ecosystem will have. So what might be some reasons why partnerships become necessary? This is one example which I would like to give, which my industry colleague Guru Prasad talked about, right? Server-based architecture. We know that the electronic architecture of the modern generation of vehicles is undergoing a profound transformation. The way it's going is, today if you see an iron car, it has about 100 or 120 ECUs, what we call as a embedded control units or electronic control units, which control small functions. But it's all scattered. So now we are moving towards it, what's called as domain servers. Maybe to start with, one is a chassis domain server, interior domain server, maybe a powertrain domain server. Ultimately, the expectation is it will move to a one single server. Maybe in next 5 to 8 years, like how your Android phone works. If you look at a mobile phone, there are only 3 or 4 operating systems. But for example, if you take Android, you have hundreds of models, but it runs on one operating system at the back end. But you can change the interface according to your design. That's how cars are going to be tomorrow. You may see a Bosch operating system, Continental operating system, Volvo operating system, which runs on software, which is also going to redefine the way you are going to manufacture cars and sell cars. So this is an example from 2019, yeah, where Continental went into production as an in-car application server. This is the first mass production produced body control high performance computer, what we call as the in-car application server for Volkswagen's first electric vehicles, which is ID3 and ID4. Look at the complexity, which is earlier unheard of in automotive, yeah. So this server alone had to take care of 70,000 stakeholders' requirements, both internal and external. It has to talk to 68 different ECUs. And this one small server had 20 million lines of code. And it also had to integrate software from 18 different companies. So this is the complexity. This is one piece of HPC. Look at if you have 5 HPCs, what's the complexity in a car it's going to be. So most drivers, unfortunately, take automotive company for granted, and each new generation vehicles, they look for a smarter and a more better connected than the last one what you do, and it's human psychology, right? But how does it look from our side? We just saw an example of HPC, high-performing computer, with the server hosting many different functions and the software function. That's how you enable car as an IoT device. Because that's the trend which consumers would like to have this. But every new solution to a problem can have a ripple effect. So it has to be really taken care very strongly. This is the example I have. For example, if you talk about a mobile phone, iPhone, which we consider the most advanced technology product, right? It has one display. It has one processor. It has maybe 3 or 4 sensors. If your screen freezes, maybe it's annoying. Look at the car today. Today's car, advanced car, has got 40% software defined. Very similar. When you talk about car, it has more than 100 microcontrollers. It has 4 displays, 4 operating systems, hundreds of sensors, weighs 2,000 kgs, travels at a speed of 200 kilometers per hour. If the software is faulty, it can be fatal. That's the difference between the technologies. While the technologies are already available, bringing into a car is going to be really, really difficult. That's the challenge many of our engineers are facing today. How do we bring these technologies? So that's the reason when we lead the way towards software-defined vehicles, up till now it was a sort of a patchwork architecture which Guru spoke in detail, which I'm not going to talk about. So today you have about 100 plus ECUs. How do you, and also very cumbersome wirings, limited cloud functionality, it's all independent. It will not have over-the-air update functions. So future is going towards future-defined architecture, which again, he spoke in very much detail, which means traditional modes of working do not work anymore. This is another example, yeah? We know that big tech got so big through acquisitions and partnership. So these are some of the examples. They were never into automotive. Look at Sony. Sony recently announced they want to get into a car. They're going to manufacture an electric car. Xiaomi, which is a mobile manufacturer. So they said they're going to get into a car. Apple, we all know that. They already have developed a car. They're looking for a partner to manufacture. Panasonic, Shell. Shell is a petroleum company, basically, and they're tying up with a Chinese company for electrification and also the charging infrastructures. Very similarly, other one, Amazon. Today, Amazon started as a retail company, right? Today, $1 trillion company, and they grew only with the adoption of technologies. The best part is Visa. Visa is into financial, a fintech company, right? So they partnered with Mercedes-Benz. Today, this feature is available in UK and Germany, where with a finger touch, you can make payments, you can buy, shopping, anything, if you have a Mercedes-Benz car, latest version in UK or Germany. So that's how they are tied up with Visa. So these are some of the things which are happening. So we as a traditional manufacturers, really we need to think now out of box. There's so many people who are coming into, however, we thought last 130 years we've been so successful, we know everything, but that's not going to work. So here also look at this, what we call as Facebook, Microsoft. Look at the partnership. I don't want to get into detail, but all these companies, Google, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, the amount of investments they have done in automotive companies. This talks about all these investments, what has gone into automotive investments. Okay. So another interesting and a previously unknown trend is a partnership could be competitors might collaborate when needed also, right? So some of the examples here, as an exercise, we try to do at Continental, we map all the features and also looking at the future, what the consumer preferences are. Certainly at the center, we have to keep consumer. Yeah, it's all driven by consumers, right? So today, for any industry, the consumer is at the center. It's no different than automotive, for automotive. Second is, these are the points. The circle demonstrates the life areas of an user, what they want to do when the drive or commute. If you ask me, these are the things, each one of us, when we are driving, we want to connect with life, yeah? And how do we do this? And these are the players in the ecosystem classified as, one is enabler, who enables the thing, could be a chip manufacturer, or maybe companies like Continental or Bosch, we make this product to enable this feature. Then realizer, who could be an OEM, who develops certain technology components, and also as a function box. And there's something called third guy called orchestrator also. Yeah, these are provide a product or a sort of who leverage the resources in the ecosystem. This is what all the tech companies are doing. Yeah, they are leveraging the resources which is already built upon with interactions to achieve multi-functions and better service feelings. So if we talk about some examples of Conti partnerships also. So sorry, it's asking for too many clicks. Okay, so these are some of the partnerships which we have done. I'm not going to dwell into each. For example, one is with Horizon Robotics in China, where we formed a joint venture to accelerate the development and commercialization of automotive AI technology in autonomous mobility. The second one was AI, which is a US-based startup. Similarly, we entered into a partnership 10 months back after joining the forces in the partnership with the AI. Conti integrated the so-called, we had a long-range LiDAR technology into a full-stack solution to create a sort of a full-stack automotive-grade system for level 2 plus or a level 4. So these are something which we have done with technology. Yeah. So this gives a sort of a bird's eye view of how robust, healthy, thriving, and growing this ecosystem is. This is my last one, last slide. So another interesting is a previously unheard of competition coming together. So there's a new form which has happened in Europe. Guru is also fully aware of. Bosch is also partner to this. Many of the OEMs are also partner to this in thing called as the Eclipse Foundation. When competitors collaborate, a typical win-lose business scenario transforms into a sort of a win-win game, right? So keeping that in mind, how we can develop this sort of a challenge what we have with the development of this, converting the car into a IoT-enabled way of product. So this is what an example where everybody is coming together. The move to sort of this is the first move within automotive to move to a sort of a open source software. I think it's a radical departure from a conventional methods. Yeah, conventional methods. So now everybody has realized, even the companies, that we can't do anything alone. We need to have a partnership. So this is my last slide. So the high-tech industry offers several examples of successful cooperations among peers. That's what automotive is also now trying to learn. Can we also replicate the same successes what they had and also grow this business? So cooperation in the automotive industry needs to gain a very same kind of momentum. Yeah, kind of momentum. So if we need to innovate, we need innovation. If we need speed, we need reduced risk, we need efficiency. I think the only way is to partner. So that's the reason partnership is it's become so much central to all this. So with that, I conclude my presentation. Thank you.